Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live, where the world comes to talk radio. If you didn't have space for an antenna, what would you use? Plus, your DXpedition special event, contest calendar, and a whole bunch more. Friday, June 10th, 2026, and here we are at Ham Radio Live. Man, Eddie Van Halen could really play, couldn't he? I mean, yeah, I always liked Clapton, but Eddie Van Halen for heavy metal and just sheer string work, man, he is amazing. Dancing in the Streets, 1982, from the album Diver Down. It was one of the last albums with David Lee Roth on it. It went to number 38 in the Billboard Hot 100, number 3 on the mainstream rock charts. It went to number 15 up in Canada on their RPM charts, and it was a good hit for David Lee and the gang from Van Halen. It is Friday, July the 10th, 2026. We're finally here, and from live from Central Florida, away we go. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Woo. Mind officially blown today. I would have been on time, just right on time today. But then I realized, okay, so you've got the special events, the contest calendar, the DXpedition calendar, all that stuff. But you didn't put it in, you dang moron. And then it was like, well, I got a really neat sign-off, close down, at the end of the show, like we always do. It's a radio one, which are not as common as you think. And it's the final close down for this station, final sign-off here in the States, in the upper Midwest. And it's like there's a story behind it that I had as well, and none of that is in the computer as well. And I'm thinking, oh no.
Thank you, come again.
I'm going to have to just start all over again and just get everything done so we can get the whole show like it's supposed to be.
That's my boy!
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. But yeah, that's kind of how it was. And then just as I'm sitting down, I've got it set up to go, and I'm about to hit start the stream, all of a sudden a big bark at the back door, and it's Miley. I swear. It's like, okay, there almost comes a time when you say, I think maybe today just isn't the day to do YouTube, and maybe we'll just go do something else, do something somewhere else.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa.
Right. Stay on format. You're right, Sam. By the way, that song that we started out with was Van Halen from their Diver Down album, second to last album that Van Halen had with David Lee before they went really out there, and they got the incredible sound of Sammy Hagar at their lead vocals. And
You'll pay for this.
actually, they made quite a bit of money doing that, so it worked out well for Van Halen. Let's find out who's first, second, and third today on an amazing Miracle Friday program. Yes, the big show of Ham Radio Live. First up today is North America. It's Jeff in Canada, Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Juliet. Give him a big meep, please. Meep. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you. Happy Friday, buddy. You did it. Well done. Good to see you. Second up today from North America, it's Bill Myers in Wisconsin. Kilo Alpha Golf India Mike. Hi, Bill. Welcome. And Chris is here. That's Chris 7, by the way. He's here from Great Britain. He's Chris 7 because the 7 is call sign. Not that he's the 7th best Chris. He's probably up for first, actually, I think. Yeah, but Chris is a good guy. Golf 7, Victor Echo Oscar. Thanks for coming, Chris. Good to see you. By the way, it's continent number 2. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Mike's here from Jacksonville. Good to see you. A happy Friday, my friend. Good to have you here. Kilo Golf 2 Mike is here. And there's Barry Wendon, Golf 6 Juliet Mike X-Ray in Great Britain. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. It always is. It always is. And lots of happy Fridays going around the world today. Kelly Holton is here. First timer, welcome. I think so. I could be wrong, but welcome. I'm Larry Dio, Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. It's an honor to have you. Stay a while. We'd love to have you stay a while. Hope you like the program today. We got a good show today. We're going to talk about people that have a really rough time with amateur radio because they don't have a place for an antenna, which is the most important part of your shack. I mean, sure, it doesn't work without the feeder or with the radio if it's not there. That's true. All of that's true, but the best radio in the world is not going to sound well if it's got no antenna, right? So we're going to talk about ways you can, and this is part 2, by the way, of ways you can stay on the air if you don't have room for a great antenna outdoors. I hope you like that segment. We'll see how it goes today. Hopefully it'll be okay. And let me see what we got around the world here. And there's Bill, and there's my beautiful bride. That's Kelly. Hi, that's Bill's Kelly. Well, how about that? Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. Tell me all the secrets about Bill now. Is Bill, he's not really no, not going to say it. Because if I say it, then Rodney will come and start saying it. And everybody get really mad. And pretty soon, poor Bill will be hurt. And I don't want that to ever happen on this program because we love Bill here.
You'll pay for this.
Yeah, I know. Don't want to say too much. No, I'm just kidding. Kelly, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming. And most of all, thank you for being a good sport, taking Bill down to Hamvention down in Ohio. What a neat week for you guys and good travel too. Thank you for that. That's really neat. I think so. Mike 1 Sierra Delta Hotel. That's our dear friend Steve from the United Kingdom. Hi, Steve. Good to see you all the way in Great Britain. He says, it's a warm one in the UK today. Does it almost feel like this?
I guess the rain's down in Africa.
I don't know. JMP, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Good crew today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Current temperature outside, by the way, it's a bit warm today. It's a bit warmish. 102 degrees today outside. And 117 heat index. We have a heat advisory here in Florida. From all over Florida, actually, from the Panhandle south, and it's just very, very uncomfortable heat temperature out there. And they're saying it's going to go in the 120s this afternoon. So that's a really, really bad thing. So a lot of Florida right now is under some significant heat. If you'd like to get some heat on the ham bands, we'd love to help you do so. Make some some waves and, get some good calls out there and make some great friends too. Contact the American Radio Relay League. They'll help you get your ham license. They're at www.arrl.org. Just click on the contact part of their page and tell them you want your ham radio license. They'll then send back to you a local to you ham radio club. And that's important because when you send that contact message, make sure you tell them who you are and where you're from, because that's why they're going to send you that ham club near you, because the ham club can help answer your questions, prepare you for the test, possibly help you with loaning some gear to you to get started if you don't have the money to do it. And here in the States, the ham clubs give you the test, so it's very important. www.hamradiolive. Just did it again, didn't I? Oh, I'm a brilliant guy today. www.arrl.org. It's like I've never done the show before. Also, we have a Discord channel at ham-radio-live. It's a great place for you to take a look at all kinds of radio information from people around the world who are extremely accomplished in the art of radio. www.ar. I'm not going to do it again. It won't be as funny the second time by making that mistake. But yeah, it's at ham-radio-live. Also, a really nifty website. And Rodney promises that he's going to do a complete refresh, make it all just wonderful, shiny, and all clean and everything.
Oh, you stupid little idiot!
I mean, it's going to be nice when he redoes stuff, and well, it'll be even more useful to you then. It's at www.hamradiolive.org. All the stuff you need to be good in radio, whether it be ham or shortwave, is right there at your fingertips at www.hamradiolive.org. Today's topic question, and this is a good one, because if people watch this program down the road on replay, if like maybe that might be something they'd want to do or something. But if there was that, right, it might help them. If they're like in a like a middle floor apartment, ground floor, could be upper floor. Anyway, the point is there's people around them. Like think apartment buildings, like big ones, condominiums, multi-tenement buildings of any kind, right? And you don't have a deck or a balcony. You don't have a yard space or a garden space, as they say in Great Britain. You just don't have a yard. You have no place to put an antenna. Now what, right? And we're talking about HF, which makes it even more difficult because HF requires a longer antenna typically, and it can be more of a problem to be able to stay on the HF bands versus VHF or UHF, which are smaller antennas. You can use a handheld to do it, right? So HF, if you didn't have the yard space, but want to do HF ham radio, what would you do? Let us know in the comment section, and we'll make it part of today's program, all right? Randy's back. He's back in Lowell, Indiana. That's great.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
You made it home safe and sound. Hi, Randy. Randy's call sign, November Delta 9 Golf. Good to see you, my friend. How was the hot drive home? Oh, the air conditioning went out right after he's leaving the Florida Panhandle, right? Just a second. So the AC goes out in his truck, and he's still driving north, right? He's got a long ways to go. He's got to make, like he said, Chicago, right? And there's no air conditioning. Oh, brother, that had to be a miserable drive. I'm hopeful that it was safe and you made it carefully home and that everything's good. That the AC repair is not going to be too darn expensive. Because that's what happens, right? You go on a trip, you're all excited, right? You're going to get out of the house for a little while, go see something different, have some fun, and then all of a sudden something goes haywire and you're like, oh no. And it's never cheap to fix. So I hope in your case that it's a good and simple thing. I really do. Randy, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming today on the Friday show. Chris is here, and Chris, of course, brings up another Larry moment.
And now, a Larry moment.
A Larry moment. The TV man asked what the big pole was in my backyard. I don't know. Is that it? Really? The big pole in your backyard, and you don't know? Well, anyway, let's just go. I think we're just going to kind of move along with the program here, and hopefully we'll find some way to retrieve everything. And
Now,
hopefully...
who's responsible? I say, who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on my person?
I don't know, but
Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah, I know.
And I didn't like it one bit.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just one of the things in the show. Don't worry about it. Probably don't understand it, and better off that you don't, because it's a Larry moment. Well, thank you so much, Chris. 7, always good to have you. Andy New, our trivia guru's here too. Hi, Andy. Mike 7, Charlie U, November. Mike 1, Sierra Delta Hotel. That is Steve, all the way in the United Kingdom. First one to answer our topic question today. If you didn't have a yard space, you didn't have a balcony, you don't have a deck, you've got no place outside for an HF antenna, but you want to still be, active on the bands and amateur radio, HF, what do you do? Steve says, have my antenna in my attic, Larry. Homemade fan dipole. Have 98 SSB DXCC confirmed and 124 mixed contacts. Can enjoy the hobby without space outside. That right there is huge hope, and it's probably the comment of the program. Okay, so he doesn't have a back garden space. He doesn't have a backyard, doesn't have a deck or something to lay an antenna out. Instead, he's put a homemade fan dipole up in his attic, and he's worked the world. Can't argue with that, right? See, that's the thing. People can say, oh, that's a compromise antenna, Steve. That's not going to work, mate. I mean, you need it outside. Try and put it, around the gutter, or maybe put it, if there's like a ridge cap to your roof, just put the wire in there where no one's going to see it, mate. Or maybe, perhaps, you can use invisible wire that's going to go right over to the nearest tree, and then it'll go up there and the birds will nest around the wire and no one's ever going to see it at all. It'll be perfect. That will work, but what you're doing, it's never going to work, man.
Oh, whatever, Larry.
I'm serious. That's true. That's what you'd be told right there. Oh, man, no fan dipole. No, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's inside. It's in your attic. There's too much electrical stuff up there. There's too much insulation. There's roofing. There's wood all around. It's not outdoors. It's not going to work. But, hey, if you want to work local calls, Steve, that'll be good, and you'll keep on the air that way.
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
Really? But look what he says. 98 DXCC sideband confirmed and 124 mixed. Now, if you work Steve, okay, and he told you, I'm working my fan dipole, you're making the call with my fan dipole here in the attic, would you please confirm my contact on QRZ? Wouldn't you feel obligated to say, hey, you know what, this guy did everything he could to stay on the HF bands. Yes, I'm going to definitely confirm the contact. Sure you would. Steve, brilliant comment. I love the comment. Thank you. So tell me about your fan dipole. Did you resonantly cut the various bands, for example, since it's a fan? Are you using specific for 20, specific link for 40, etc.? Let me know. Love to know more about that, because that right there, comment of the program as far as I'm concerned. And that gives people hope. Now, some people might say, well, you know what? I don't have an attic space. Relevant, right? If you're in the middle of a multi-tenement building and there's no attic and you can't get access to it, then what, right? Worse yet, what if you're in a building made of brick? You see how things get a little dicey now? Because brick, if you try and put like a dipole wire up in the ceiling or along the wall, the building's made of brick. It's going to have a hard time getting a single whisper out of an antenna through brick. So you've got to use the windows. I love what Steve just said. It's a great comment. And for anyone looking to say, I can't stay on the ham bands, I can't because I can't get an HF antenna up. Right there, that comment right there from Steve is really powerful. Great comment. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you more than ever. Thank you. And much respect. Big respect. Colorist, that's Peter. Good to see you, Peter. He is in Ireland, which we love. He is Echo India number 6, Lima, India, or in the United Kingdom, Golf 4, BBC. Love that call. It's a great call. Really is. Speaking of Ireland, there's our dear friend, Kevin O'Doublehan. Hi, Kev. Good to see you as always. Kevin Doublehan. Kevin, sorry. I'm going to mess up if I try and spit out a call sign. Remind me, would you? Because I don't want to mess that up. It's too important. I mean that. Please let us know, okay? Chris 7, he says, on today's topic question, I would try a long wire all around the room's ceiling as well as a tuner. Okay. So he would take a wire and he would run it around a room because, I mean, you're not going to put it like in your, like, say, for example, it's not going to be in your bedroom. Are you talking about like your bedroom and your hallway and up along the walls in your bathroom too? And where do you stop? Let us know. Be interesting to know that because some people do put like a wire up in a room on a wall up high and it works. It can work for sure. Absolutely. Bill in Wisconsin, if I didn't have room for an antenna, I think that I would get what I need to operate mobile or maybe parks on the air. There you go. He would change how he works. But what if you couldn't do it, right? What if you're that guy that just can't get out? You can't do something. Radio is your lifeline. We talked yesterday. Remember we talked about the guy who we had a call that was brilliant. I think it was it Barry in the UK? I think it was Golf 6 Juliet Mike X-Ray, where he said he made the call to the guy who was older and radio was his lifeline. His social media was ham radio. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's what it exists for. It's there to enjoy, right? So if you were that guy, what would you do? Curious, because here's the thing. I'm going to just share this with you. Just a second, kids. Excuse me. We talk so much about slick radios, but we don't talk enough about spending all that money for a big antenna, do we? We just don't do that. If you were to look on DX Engineering's site, let's go there right now, just for fun. I wasn't planning to do this, but I don't have the weather segment up, so forget it. I don't. Just today was not the day. But, better to have me here than not sometimes, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me just kind of put this up real quick. We'll just go to DX Engineering's website, and we'll take a look real quick at the current prices for, like, loop antennas, right? Because that's, like, a big thing for inside your ham shack, to be able to make calls because you can't put up an antenna. A loop antenna is always good, right? So DX Engineering, thank you, loop antenna, okay? And we'll see what they have for sale here, of course. So let's just kind of go limited space, small loop antennas. Why not? Okay, so here you go. This looks rather large, doesn't it? Okay, but it is 40 to 15 meters, $400, okay, for that. Here's our friend, the Ciro Mazzoni, which is their stealth loop. You can get on a 40 with 10 on that, but look at the price. It's $2,000 before they add the tax on that. That's a lot of money. I mean, $2,000? Have you ever, taken a look lately at the price of a radio? Without the antenna, that radio is worthless. So, but here's the thing. Most people, like a lot of people, that's too much money. They can't afford that. They're on like limited income. It's impossible for them to stay on the air then, right? It's a tough thing. And I hope we're able to find some good answers today, because I think it's important that we don't give up on ham radio, because our condition in life has changed to a point that now we have to work VHF, UHF, because DX is no longer possible. There are ways to get around that. Steve's comment proves that. Mike 1 Sierra Delta Hotel. Randy says, the drive home without AC isn't that bad when the truck is moving. That's a good attitude. Like that. Yeah. As long as the truck's going, I'm fine. No problem. Stian's here again. Dion was the one who made that comment yesterday about the elderly ham. It was comment of the show yesterday, for sure. It was a great comment. He's in Norway. His call sign, Lima Alpha 5, Lima Tango Alpha. Stian, nice to see you. A very happy Friday evening to you there in Norway. Thanks for joining us. Randall says, I'm heading back to Pensacola on Sunday, but this time I'm taking the car. I bet you are. I bet you are, man. Ooh, just a second. We don't get a ton of heat advisories in Florida. You might think it happens all summer. Not really. Our summertime here, and I learned this last summer, it peaks right around the third week in July to going towards August. Once August comes, here in Florida, it's not that peak time of year where we're just going to get crazy, crazy temperatures. It's still possible, but most of the bad temperatures come the first 3 weeks in July. So hopefully, Randall, the weather will be nice and your AC's not going to break down too. Ooh, that would be some bad luck. Kevin says, now he's in Ireland, he says, I had a homebrew inverted V in the loft as one of my first ham radio antennas. How well did it work? That's a big question. How well did it work for you? Barry Wendon, today's topic question, loop antenna by Chiro. It's a baby loop. Now, see, that's a very good answer. It really is, because on the Chiro Mazzoni loop, it works. There's already proof out there, and you see them on YouTube. You see these loops in action, right? And they're making calls. That's a difference from when you say, well, here's what I can do. I can put a loop up on a window, and that'll be my antenna. And when my radio shorts out...
Oh, whatever, Larry.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's only so much you can do, but there's enough info on the Chiro products. You know, they seem to work. I mean, you know, and the thing is if you're able to afford it, if you're able, you know, $2,000 for the Stealth A antenna, or maybe one of their like baby loops. Sure, it'd work great and keep you on the air too. Barry, thank you. Nice comment. It's a good comment. Yep. Andy knew, he said, if I was in a flat above, I would have an attic. As it is, I have to use whatever portable antennas that are available. There's a ham that has this problem right there. There it is. How can we help Andy? Do you see why I'm asking the question, guys? It's because one of us has a need for some help, and there's a guy who needs it. Just one of the people who need it here. And I think that's so important that we can step up and help somebody like Andy. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that more than you know. I appreciate that. Not easy to say it when you need the help, but we want to help you. Jeff in Canada, loop in a window or off the balcony, but you don't have a balcony. See where I'm going now? There's no balcony, there's no deck. You just have a front door and windows. That's it. Think about buildings that you've seen that don't have any outdoor space. Like, you know, if you were at downtown, right, and there's like a skyscraper, condo, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't have any outdoor patios. It's simply a flat back windows type building. That's it. That's where people live. And there's no place to put an antenna outdoors. But he says, still loop in a window. Nice comment. Yeah, could work. Absolutely. Chris, a lot of apartments in UK have a balcony and people attach a mobile antenna or vertical on there. Yes. But again, what if you didn't have the doggone balcony? Shut up! Because we're asking for worst case scenario. Because if we had if we could just all have a little patio space, right? The problem is simple. You take a screwdriver antenna, or you put a ham stick and you change it when you want to change bands. But the value of a screwdriver antenna is going to go up and down and change frequencies for you automatically, right? So there's your solution. And it's going to get out too, because it's outdoors. It has a better chance, at least going in one or two directions. You're going to make reasonable calls with it, especially if you're up high in a building. But if you don't have any outdoor space, there's a big problem for sure. Steve, info on his antenna. My fan dipole is for 20, 15, and 10 meter bands. Attic space is 7.2 meters long. Okay? So that's roughly 22 to 25 feet. So for 20 meters, have some loading coils, just wire wrapped around plastic tube to get it resonant. 15 just about fits. 10 meters fits fine. Thank you, Steve. There you go. So if you get attic space, there's a plan for you. He's almost got a DXCC doing that. And that's really very impressive. Andy, it's human nature to love those magical boxes with lots of buttons and knobs and a flashy display. But without a decent antenna, you have an expensive paperweight. 100%. What happens to this situation, right? What happens in this situation? Sorry, I'm pretty dark today. Sorry about that. Is people just put down the hobby. They just say, can't do it. And they go to the telly and they watch shows for, 12 hours and go back to bed, do the same thing the next day. They have no human interaction for the most part, and television or whatever, radio, that's their hobby, or phone calls, whatever. But I'm just saying, radio loses then because they can't get on the bands. They're not making calls. I mean, think about this. If you had your radio and you didn't make calls with it, how long would you keep playing radio? I'd give it 2 days, 3 maybe, because I'm pretty persistent. But after 3 days, I would put down something I worked so hard to earn my license to do and to work hard to get the equipment to do it. I mean, I think that's really important while we talk about that. And we work hard to try and find some solutions, guys. Kevin in Ireland, I had the Baby Loop. For its size, it's a great antenna. There you go. That's the one that it's 20 to 10. Is that right? 20 to 6? I think the Baby Loop was 20 to 6. He's talking Ciro Mazzoni again. Baby Loop. Let me look because I'm still on the site. Ciro Mazzoni Baby A. Okay, is 1 kilowatt, 40 to 10. Okay, so you can get on 40 with that. Price, $23.35.99. It's almost $2,400, guys, with tax. Not on sale. Ooh. My radio, my 7610, cost about that much money. But without something like that, right? What are you going to do? Thank you, Kev. Appreciate you very much. I do. Thank you. Stian, if I lived in an apartment with no outdoor space and no attic, I'd probably build a do-it-yourself magnetic loop antenna. Bingo. For HF, another option would be a random long wire antenna paired with a manual tuner. Another good answer. Thank you very much. That's good, because what he's talking about, he tried and build a mag loop, which is important because a magnetic loop works. Okay, remember, radio waves are electromagnetic, right? As they float around unseen above us and around us and under us, they are electromagnetic. But a magnetic loop antenna just picks up the magnetic portion of the signal. Still there. We're not missing anything except all the static crashes and some of the, the static and noise and stuff that goes on the electrical portion of it. But the magnetic portion still gets in and still goes out. So it's a great solution for a mag loop. The problem with mag loops is you're only going to get maybe 7 or 8 kilohertz of bandwidth at a time. What that means in realistic terms, let me turn my radio, there's no antenna on it, so bear with me. It would be like this. If we were to look at the radio, and hopefully, there it is. Oh, yippee, the radio came alive. Okay, so Sam's a bit late. But it would be like looking at a bandwidth this wide. That's 8 kilohertz wide right there. That's 8. So that's about the width of a high Q magnetic loop antenna, but it still keeps you on the bands. It still makes calls. I'll show you in a little bit today, but it does work. It really does. One more message on this, and then we're going to have to go to our next segment. But I'll get to you in just a little bit, Chris, okay? Chris 7, I promise you'll be after Peter. Pete says, living in Fitzrovia, hope I said that right, in central London, W1, surrounded on all sides with flats, houses, shops, and street lighting. Get where he's going? A lot of noise, a lot of buildings, a lot of obstructions to making and receiving ham radio calls. He said, it's a challenge. The solution? You keep experimenting, and that's part of the fun. It's a great comment. Pete, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Echo India 6, Lima, India, I believe. Sorry, I'm changing scenes, and I'm trying to do it the best I can from all the stuff that we're doing right now. Let's get to our HF contests and special events for the coming weekend, and it gives me a chance to lean over and grab some water. Give me a second. Thank you very much. So the football World Cup is still here in the States. Excuse me, and they're down to like 16 teams now, I believe. There still is a World Cup football on the air soccer tournament special event going on out of Dallas, Texas. It runs through the 19th, so it's got about a week and a half to go. Whiskey 5 Charlie is the call. That's Whiskey 5 Charlie. Another one called World Soccer Tournament goes on through the 19th as well out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Call sign William Mike 3 Penn. No kidding. So it's William Mike 3 Papa Echo November. That's out of Philly area. And they only get me on 2 bands there, about 14.276 and 7.276. Also, Field Day 2026 special event still going on. In fact, it goes to the end of the year. No joke. November 6 Romeo. It's November 6 Romeo out of Thousand Oaks, California. They plan to be on or about 14.255 megahertz. Also, the annual convention of the National Speleological Society. Did I get that right? Excuse me. That's good. All right. That one's Kilo 9 Victor. That's Kilo number 9 Victor. They plan to be on just a few bands there, on 40 and 20, on both digital and on voice as well. Also, the Colonial Williamsburg special event is going on coming up tomorrow only. That's going to be from 14 UTC to 2000. Call sign Kilo 4 Romeo Charlie. That's Kilo number 4 Romeo Charlie. Only on 40 and the 20 meter band. They'll be on 40 on or about 7.265 and on 20 meters at 14.265. Independence Day special event weekend coming up tomorrow. Now you may wonder, why in the heck are we doing an Independence Day special event a week after the 4th of July?
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
Well, it's because it's on the Midway Museum ship in San Diego Harbor, California. Yep, it's off the USS Midway ship. November India 6 India Whiskey's the call. And they plan to be on the 40-meter band on or about 7.250 and on 20 right about 14.320. Also, they plan to be digital, that most likely Morse code, right around 14.070. But they also, I guess they're doing digital, so that makes sense. Working PSK 31 and D-Star. Also on the Papa system repeaters as well there. So if you want to work the USS Midway Museum ship, you can do it that way. Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014. That's going to be on Sunday and Monday. interesting special event calendar there. But yeah, Sunday and Monday from 1400 UTC to 2000. Call sign Kilo 8 Romeo. That's Kilo number 8 Romeo. Scopes Monkey Trail Whiskey for Bravo's the call. That's Whiskey for Bravo. Plan to be on a number of frequencies there. Warwick County 4-H Fair. I always like to read these because kids are involved sometimes with 4-H. That's Whiskey for Hotel for that one. Whiskey for Hotel. That's July 13th through July 19th. And they only plan to be on or about 14.320 on sideband. Final ones here you can take a look coming up. And I did this one because a lot of people like to collect the 3 big races at the Indy Motor Speedway every year. And the third and final one, the Brickyard 400, is coming up July the 20th through the 26th. And that's going to be Whiskey 9 India Mike Sierra. That's Whiskey 9 India Mike Sierra. Put that on your calendar. They plan to be on 80 meters there for 38.40, so 3.840 megahertz on 80, and on 40 about 7.245, and some other frequencies as well. As we get closer, we'll go into that one. Not much on the contest calendar to talk about this weekend, just a couple of big ones actually. The SKCC Weekend Sprintathon is going to be tomorrow and Sunday. It's going to be Morse code. So here's your Morse code contest. All the HF bands except for the WARC bands, of course. And that's going to be running from 12 UTC until 24 UTC on the 12th. Finally, on the contest calendar front, the IARU HF World Championship starts at 12 UTC on the 11th. That's tomorrow through 12 UTC on Sunday. This is Morse code as well as phone. Status active historically, but unconfirmed. Not sure about that, but there you go. And these guys plan to be doing all kinds of stuff on the HF bands to make calls with you on Morse code and phone. Take a look at your max, minimum, and QRP power levels there. Also on your DXpedition front, right now, Cameroon is on the air through next Wednesday. Call sign for this one is Tango Juliet number 1 Golf Delta / portable. That's Tango Juliet number 1 Golf Delta / P for portable. And so Island on the Air Africa 095. That's why I want to make sure and read that. Difficult one to get in your log. They're going to be on the HF bands. They're not saying what they're doing, but try and look for that call on DX Spotting Networks. Again, the call Tango Juliet number 1 Golf Delta, and they may not include the slant P, but there you go. St. Martin runs through the 13th. That, believe it or not, is through Monday, kids. The call sign prefix Fox Sierra, that's Fox Sierra. They're out of Orient Bay, and 8030, 20, 17, and 10. Unique combination of frequencies, including 30 meters there. Morse code, sideband, FT8, PSK31, and radio teletype as well. That could be doing quite a bit of stuff there. Asagawara, oh boy, it runs through tomorrow. Get on this while you can. Juliet Delta 1 is the Fox, is the prefix for that, for Asagawara. 160 to 6 meters. Now, based on Super Typhoon Bavi, this might not be active anymore. Think about that. They plan to be 160 to 6 Morse code in the sideband, but this one might be shut down now. El Salvador runs through July 13th. Call sign prefix Yankee Sierra number 3. That's Yankee Sierra number 3 from La Union, 80 to 10 meters, Morse code, sideband, and FT8. Also, Greenland, another one that's kind of tough to get unless you get it during the summertime, because not many people go to Greenland to work ham radios unless it's warm. So the prefix Oscar X-ray is the prefix. That's Oscar X-ray. This is Island on the Air. Believe it or not, Greenland is a giant island on the air, North America. Are you ready for this one? 151. How come Greenland's so big and they got 151? I think it should be number 1. Because they're that big, right? They should have some kind of thing there. They plan to be 40 to 20, maybe it's 40 and 20, Morse code spare time operation for that one. And then Easter Island, this runs through tomorrow. Call sign 3 Golf 0 Yankee Tango, 3 Golf 0 Yankee Tango. It's only a 1 week long DXpedition, and they plan to be 20 to 10 meters, sideband FT8, and they are a QRP special event. Greenland number 2 runs through July 17th, so you got a second shot. Call sign Oscar X-ray number 3 Lima X-ray. That's Oscar X-ray number 3 Lima X-ray. They plan to focus on 6 and 4 meter HF. And hopefully they're doing okay with that. They have been on the air since the 7th, and they closed down the 17th. Tuvalu, and I hope I'm saying that right, Tuvalu, call sign Tango 22 Tango Tango. That's the easiest call sign in the history of ever. Tango 22 Tango Tango by the Rebel DX group. Yeehaw. Okay. And HF FT8, some sideband, and some Morse code as well. Also, Iceland. Iceland starts up on Sunday, so mark this down. They're there for the IARU HF World Championship, which is coming up, all right? The call sign, Tango Foxtrot 3 Hotel Quebec. That's Tango Foxtrot 3 Hotel Quebec. This is going to be tomorrow and Sunday only. For Iceland. Tough to get Iceland. It's being done by a group of hams worldwide, and they plan to be working the HF bands. And boy, talk about getting one in your log you'd love. That one's one of them. Isle of Man also, just tomorrow and the 12th for the IARU HF World Championship. And it's so big in Europe. And this is IARU Region 1 World Championship. So they're going to be on Isle of Man. They're going to be working the HF bands 80 to 10 meters Morse code and sideband. Last one, South Cook Islands. Don't forget there's 2 of them. The first one starts July 22nd, runs through August the 14th. Call sign for that one, Echo 51, Kilo Echo Echo. That's Echo 51, Kilo Echo Echo, Morse code, and maybe some sideband. They plan to do that. The second South Cook starts July 26th, runs through August the 6th. That call sign, Echo 51 Charlie Zulu Zulu, Echo 51 Charlie Zulu Zulu, HF on that, and only sideband. There is your special events, the expedition, and your contest calendar for the weekend. All right. Woo. That's a lot right there, guys. Definitely some great stuff to work this weekend. If you think about it, right? If you want to work someplace unique, Iceland, that's going to be on the air. Isle of Man's going to be on the air. South Cook, not yet, but still great chance to work. And keep the people, like in Taiwan and China and that area there around the Pacific Rim, that super typhoon Bavi's coming for. Bad storm. That's a really, really bad storm. What it did to Guam was just devastation. Really, really bad. Today's topic question has to do with if you had no space outdoors for an antenna, what would you do to stay on the HF bands? Chris, I know a person that put a long wire out the apartment window and ran it across the street, then attached to a tree. That's not recommended, though. No. Not at all recommended. It's a very bad thing. And Kevin worked 10 to 40 meters. There you go. Good for you, Kev. That's actually impressive. That's really impressive. Peter, I have a baby loop, but the wire antennas are more fun for working all the bands quickly. That's for sure. Yeah. If you've never used a magnetic loop, the reason why is because like when you see most ham radio YouTube shows, you see like the band, right? And it's just, you see all the lines and everything from all the signals, right? But on a loop, you get a small window of that whole bandwidth, and you see only a little window of it versus the whole band, or part of the band at least. It's really, that high Q can be really frustrating for a lot of people. But if that's the only way you can stay on the air, better than being off the air, and they make good calls. I'll show you in just a moment about that. Coming in from continent number 3, Tom in Bahrain. Hi, Tom. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. His Bahrain call sign, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Here in the States, he's Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa. Hi, Tom. Always a pleasure to see you. JC says to you, nice to meet you. I'm Larry Dio, Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. Good to have you. Hope you stay a while. I hope you do. He said, where I live, 2 and 70 SEM are dead, both simplex and repeaters. All I have are HTs, and I'm ready to throw it all out after having my technician license for 6 weeks. Nobody on the air. I just don't see the point. Well, here he is. What do we say? Do we disagree? Do you? Not all areas have a lot of people working 2 and 70. For example, where I was in Oregon, they were dead. There wasn't a lot of activity. There was no there was a net from time to time, but that was very rare. Now, here in Central Florida, there's a lot of 2-meter stuff. Not as much 70 SEM, but there's quite a bit of 2-meter. It's usually, there's people talking all day, but there's a lot more people here, right? But can you see his point? He studied really hard to get the license, and he can't make calls. And here's the other problem, see, because he's a technician, he can only get on 10-meter HF to make voice calls on 10 between 28.3 and 28.5. That's all he has. Because our band plan is so screwed up in this country that we don't give him a proper band plan to use so that he can explore radio and actually grow in his skill. It's a travesty what we do to technicians. It is. It's an absolute travesty in this country. And it needs to change. It does. I mean, how hard is it really for us to say, okay, here, you guys, the technicians, will give you 2 or 3 HF bands now at lower power. Work on building strong antennas, because then that lower power is going to have gain, and that gain is going to work you continents at lower power. It works in the UK. Why can't it work here? Oh, gosh, don't get me started on this again.
Shut up!
Seriously, it's mind-bending to me. What a disservice it is to our technician license. It is. I'm just going to say it. Our technician class licensees are doomed for failure unless they license up. That's it. But what if they don't want to license up anymore, right? What if technician's good enough for them? And there's nothing wrong with that. They can use an HT. They can work someplace else. But they can't get on the HF bands and use a microphone. That's really hard. Now, and they may not be into FT8, and they might not know Morse code. Oh. Larry's having a conniption fit when I read comments like this, because he's right. He's right. Dear ARRL, please read this comment. This is one of, I'm sure, many other ones that exist from people that worked hard to pass a ham radio license exam, and they deserve a chance. They deserve better than 200 kilohertz of voice privileges on a 10-meter band that's dead half a solar cycle. Give them more HF privileges at reduced power so they can learn that maybe a couple of verticals together, spaced a certain distance apart, have a certain amount of gain to them and can work them continents away at 25 watts. You might not think that, but 25 watts is reasonable power. Oh, man. This comment, I want to scream. And he's right. I don't see the point. Of course he doesn't. He's not making calls. He worked all that time to get his license and he's not making calls. Here is my plea to you. Okay. And first of all, I am very sorry that our band plan here in the United States sucks. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm an amateur extra licensee and I see it. And I think everybody that's on this stream know that too. They know my feelings and they feel pretty similar. It's a disservice to you. I'm sorry that the system let you down here. But don't give up. Please don't throw it away. Don't do that. For whatever reason, the powers that be in our country believe that if you really want to be a ham, you need to be a general licensee. Prove I'm wrong. I'll look for your comments on the replay. And I will answer them. I'll answer your comments. Prove to me that our license structure in the United States is set up to make technicians grow in amateur radio. You can't prove that because they have to license up to general to have any reasonable privilege. Oh, this makes me mad. It really does. And I don't ever get mad on this show. I do it for fun and enjoyment, but this makes me angry. So listen, do me a favor. I'll help you. I'll make you a promise. I'll help you license up to general. I'll do my best. Okay? Because at least then you got 100 watts and a majority of HF. You have the whole HF band plan that I have as an amateur extra, except for little slices on the 80, 40, 20, and 15 meter bands. I'll help you license up, but don't give up yet. Don't. Because the true enjoyment in amateur radio comes from when you're at general. If you see ham radio as a microphone on the HF bands, where you can actually talk to people and they answer back. He continues on. Oh, great. I'm already angry. My local amateur radio club is practically dead. No field day, no Aries or races or Skywarn. That's unfortunate. And that's unfortunately the state of amateur radio in a lot of places in 2026. It's not that way here in Florida that I've seen. Most of the counties have really good areas, or they have at least reasonable amateur radio groups. They do. And I don't know where you live, but I will tell you, don't give up. You'll have my help. And I'm sure others will step up and help you too from this channel, because that's who we are. We will help you license up because then it's worth it. It is. It's totally worth it. You would not be saying this if you had a chance to work 10 meters right now, because you'd be working South America. You'd work Europe in the morning. You would have great calls going out and you'd start filling your log up with QSOs. Or if you want to work digital, you can work FT8 and see how far your signals are traveling. That's something that's open to you. But maybe you want to do voice. I think it's really important. If you want to do voice, let us help you license up. If not, then FT8. Your laptop connects to your radio. It makes calls to people around the world. You still can get DXCC, worked all continents, worked all states, worked all counties, blah, 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 blah. It's up to you. Yeah. And Jeff in Canada asked if he's tried repeater book. And he says, I can hit several analog repeaters which are basically dead. True. I know. Having trouble getting my DMR to DM32 UV is problematic to program. Don't give up, man. Tom, Isle of Man, did you notice K3LR operating Mr. DX Engineering? Tim. Yeah. Good place to work. That's a big contest. He says, sorry to be off topic and off band. I know this show is more HF. Just starting to question, investing in this new hobby. I'm not getting enough back from it. And you know what? You have a right to feel that way. Peter, sadly got to run. Great show, Larry. Best from Echo India number 6, Lima, India in Ireland, and Golf for BBC in the Great Britain, Commonwealth, the UK. Good to see you, Peter. Happy weekend. It's always a pleasure when you come by. I mean, you can't even do POTA. There it is. There's Larry's. That's why I've said the same rant for the last year, that we just hose our technician licenses. We do. They don't get enough, and we don't do anything to help them get more. It's a shame. Steve, I mostly enjoy going out portable these days. Parks on the air and bunkers on the air can find plenty of space then for an HF antenna. It's true. Nice comment. Nice comment. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, JC. Welcome to the hobby. Here's your 2 dead bands and a sliver of the 28 megahertz band. Yep. We'll help you. You have my word. I don't give my word on this. First time I've done that. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to pass a general exam, but I will tell you this. I'll help you. And I know other people too. If you want a good spot, go to our Discord channel. Connect with us on Discord. ham-radio-live. That's ham-radio-live for our Discord channel. Join. Accept the terms and agreement that we have there. It's right there on the screen. ham-radio-live. And we'll see what we can do to get you the license up to general, because then you have a reasonable chance to do well and have an awful lot of fun. You will. Andy New, we're lucky in the UK, foundation license 25 watts on the majority of bands with some exceptions. See, that's the best answer right there. That's it right there. See, when the UK was at 10 watts for the foundation licensees, they kind of hampered them. It wasn't that 10 wasn't enough. It's just that getting that extra 15 on top of it now gives them hope, because they've got 25 watts. 25 watts can work across the Atlantic into the United States and down to South America and up to Canada. It can, and with a reasonable antenna, it will. Even if Andy's got a mag loop in a window, he probably works the States on 25 watts. Stan in Norway, I had a 2-meter EME satellite set up, not using it at the moment. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in amateur radio. It's technically fascinating, and there's always a satellite to chase. Stian, I love your comment. Thank you. If there was ever a time and a moment that we needed a good comment, that was the moment. Oh, my goodness. Seriously, buddy, thank you, Stian. You're a positive person, and I appreciate you very much. JC, we're here for you. I'm here Monday through Fridays, okay? I take the weekends off because I don't want to, I got to give my family, my wife, my weekends a little bit so she doesn't wonder where I'm at. But, you know, we're here Monday through Friday. But it just isn't right what we're doing to technician license. It's just not at all. Bill, thank you for the link. Appreciate you dropping that. Let's get to the next segment real quick, because this is important. We are talking about the second link to how to get by on this very question. If you got no space for an antenna, no yard, no balcony, no deck, nothing. You've just got windows and you're inside. What do you do? Here's a good video, and I like this video. It's done by a fellow Floridian who did a good job talking about what to do if you're in this exact spot, and I think it's brilliant. Take a close look at what he has to say. His name is Mark here in Florida. You might not have seen his YouTube channel, but I ask you, please go there and at least subscribe to help him out.
Especially the older ones have the 50. Some hams, especially the older ones, have the 50 to 100-foot towers with a tri-band Yagi on the top, a couple of acres of land, no homeowners association. They can do whatever they want. But those days for most hams are gone. Now, Typical ham might have a nice house at the XYL picked out in an HOA neighborhood that does not allow any kind of ham radio outdoor antenna. Now, you might be able to sneak one. I did. Last place I lived, I was able to get a wire to the summit of a big oak tree in the front yard, and if anyone noticed, they didn't say anything about it. And what if you live in an apartment or senior housing? Chances are you will have to use an indoor antenna or give up the hobby. They are not going to allow anything outdoors, and it would probably just not be practical or even possible anyway. In my journey as a ham radio operator over the past 60 years, I found that when I had to use an indoor antenna, and I've lived in every kind of housing, the best performance is from a small magnetic loop. Just put it on a tripod near a window and leave it. You don't have to put it up and take it down because you're trying to hide something. You don't have to be stumbling around in an attic, falling through the ceiling, trying to string dipoles. In a future video, I'm going to show a magnetic loop antenna that is so light you can hang it from window blinds. It takes about an hour to make, costs nothing, and it works. Mag loops seem to work better indoors than indoor wire antennas, and there could be a scientific reason for that. Now, here's a screenshot from the website of DJ0IP, a very knowledgeable ham in Germany who has a lot of experience with mag loop antennas. Normal antennas like dipoles and verticals work with the electrical component of the signal. The magnetic loop antenna works with the magnetic component of the signal. Walls tend to block or weaken the electrical component of the signal, but their effect on the magnetic component is very little. As a result, in most cases, a magnetic loop antenna will work a lot better indoors than a dipole. The mag loop is a simple antenna to make and would be a good project because many hams are just appliance operators now. They don't know which end of a soldering iron to hold. Or you can buy a commercially made mag loop, but they tend to be expensive and can only handle low power levels. Now, here's the website of DX Engineering. They sell several types of loop antennas. Now, these are, of course, quite expensive and probably overkill for use indoors. That's a receive only. This is another expensive mag loop. Now, here we're getting into more of your typical mag loop antennas, which can take about 10 watts or so. And as you can see, they're pretty expensive. And I was surprised to see that ICOM is now marketing a mag loop antenna. Tells me they're getting pretty popular.
All right, there we'll leave
Now
it
you
at
can
that.
build.
Okay? I'm going to stop there. I'm going to take you in the Wayback Machine now. I know I've talked mag loops and that they're not my first choice if I was working indoors. But if you took away a deck outside, or you took away a balcony up front, or there's no yard, right? You took away all three of those options. You're stuck. You're stuck like Chuck because you don't have a way to put an outdoor antenna up other than trying to be really slick and, wiring it up into the rafters of some outdoor space, which you're going to get in trouble for doing. It's just not worth doing that. You're not going to, but you don't want to lose your house. You don't want to kill somebody because, you put RFI out there and then they complain they got cancer from you, whatever. The mag loop will keep you on the air. It's the last line of defense, as far as I'm concerned, to keep you on the HF bands and allow you the chance to work people. And those people can be 500, maybe 1,000 miles away, sometimes farther. Let me show you, and we're going way back in the Wayback Machine of this program, back to show 28. Now, to give you a little bit of idea, this is show 762, So do the math. It's been a minute. The first one, this was when I had the Yaesu FTDX 101 MP radio, no video card, no audio card to be able to, well, actually no audio feed into the show. Boy, have we evolved. Holy cow. But take a look, and I'll tell you this first call, and you'll get an idea. This is with the MFJ 1788 receive and transmit loop antenna.
Okay, we're having a hard time making that out. I apologize. It's not certainly something I want to have happen, but that's what's going on. I'm right now receiving you a solid 5.7 to 5.9 into Western Oregon that is filled with smoke. So we've got a lot of reflection coming in off those ionized particles right now. How is my report to you? Over? 5-4, Roger, into Wichita. That ain't bad. Boy, you just made my day. Would you do me a big favor? 3 times. Give me your call sign phonetically. That's all I need. Roger, Kilo Echo Zero Echo Foxtrot Yankee. Is that correct? There we go. Kilo Echo Zero Tango Foxtrot Yankee. QSL? That's great. Well, your last transmission, you bumped to 5.9. I'll send you a copy of this video on YouTube to your email. Is it on QRZ? Is it correctly the email for you? Is your email current on QRZ?
Okay, that's good enough, right? So
Email
that call was about 1,400 miles away from my QTH in Independence. Let me show you one more call made with that same receive and transmit loop antenna. This one might just surprise you.
That's a Roger. What's your call sign? I've got, you just had a lot of QRN just swallow you up. I got Kilo Mike 4. Could you repeat the rest for me, please? Okay, so it's Kilo Mike 4 Papa Ocean. Is that correct?
Sorry, guys. Early in the program.
Roger, Roger, brother. Pop, P-O-P, QRZ. Very good. I know you're calling CQDX. I'm doing a test for MFJ right now. This is from the West Coast in terrible fire conditions. Can you give me a signal report? This is very important. Over.
You just did, moron. 2 by 2. There you go.
2 by 2, Roger. You're a 5.7. I'll log you.
Yeah, 5.7. Yeah, heard every word perfectly, but I gave him your call sign anyway. So I have headphones on, and I wasn't running the radio through the audio gear, so I'm trying to run it like this with one ear out. Anyway, a terrible excuse. But I want to thank Kilo 4 Papa Oscar Papa for his kindness in doing that call, and let me tell you why. Take a look at this. This is really good. This is the call right here. This is LaBelle, Florida. From Independence, Oregon, all the way to LaBelle. LaBelle is right in the center of the southern part of Florida. You've got Fort Myers right here. LaBelle is close to Fort Myers, fairly close. And then on the east coast of Florida, it's almost due west from Palm Beach, Florida. That call, believe it or not, kids, was 2,614 miles on a mag loop antenna. That's pretty impressive. Now, here I want to show you real quick what's really important. the conditions that day. When I was talking about the conditions, I meant it, because the conditions were really, they were abysmal. And honestly, there's no reason that that call should have been able to be made in the conditions I was transmitting. And take a look at what the sky looked like. This was at 12 noon in the afternoon. That picture was taken 12 noon, September of 2020. There were wildfires all around us where we lived in Independence. Needless to say, the air quality was awful, and there was so much particulate in the air. They told people to stay indoors. You weren't supposed to go outside. This is what it looked like that day when that call was made. So, Magloop, here's the one caveat I need to be very specially clear about. That was made with the MFJ 1788 receive and transmit 200 watt loop antenna, 150 watts, excuse me. And it was outside on a wooden pole, basically about 20 feet up, and it was in the horizontal position. Okay, so play along with me here. If I could make a coast-to-coast call outdoors on that antenna, what's stopping me from using that antenna in a window and working 1,500 miles away? Probably nothing, because the guy in Wichita had me at a 57 or a 55, very readable. What's 1,500 miles from where you are? Probably another country in a lot of places. So a Magloop can work, and it can make calls and make reasonable calls. I know how to use them. Been there, done that. Not my first choice, but it was the only choice of that, or you're off the air. I would be using the heck out of it. I would. And I know that the MFJ 1988 or what I just said, 1788, has been out of production a while. I know that, but you can find them used on the market from time to time, and it might be that one piece that can keep you alive and well. The new price for it was like $790 or $720, something like that. Used, probably going to be $400 or $500, but it will work and it will make calls for you. Really will. I know the Ciro Mazzoni products are very good. They make calls. There's plenty of YouTube videos showing that. But a Magloop will work you, and it'll work a long ways for you as well. Inside, just right at your window. That's it. So what about you? Last call for the topic question. No outdoor space. None. None. You can't go outdoor with an antenna. So what would you do? Let us know in the comments. Make it part of the show. Stian trying to give JC a little bit of hope there on 2 meters. You can work satellites, and that's fun, actually. The Yagi antenna wand, he talks about 2 meter handheld with a portable Yagi handheld antenna. Man, you could work something like that for like $400, $500, and then work the satellites, and you'll work all over the place. Probably going to be within the United States, but it's not going to be like, Germany or whatever. But still, you'll be able to make calls or license up to general, and we can get you on the HF bands, and then you're going to make calls all over the world, because you're that kind of guy that hopefully won't give up, and we hope you don't, because this hobby is worth it. It is. You just got to work and get that next license. Gosh, I hate seeing that. JC, please don't give up. Please don't do that. JC said, thanks for the satellite suggestions. Discord doesn't believe I'm human enough, so I'll pass that on after several more attempts. Oh, no. Right now, I'm magnet mount in this apartment. Okay. Parks on the Air is available to you if you license up to general, or you can use digital. Hold on. Let's do this before you go, because I don't want to lose you, and I don't want you to lose ham radio. That would be a crying shame in my mind. I've been blessed to encourage people to get in this hobby, and I don't want to lose somebody who's worked hard to get a license. So that's super important. Let's take a look at the band plan. In fact, I want to maybe make it larger here, because that's going to be even better. Let's move up to share screen. Just a second. Let me change screens. So don't leave yet. We'll get over to the band plan here, and I'm going to get rid of this right here so you see the whole thing. All right. So U.S. band plan. Oops. Right thing will help. All right. So as a technician, right? there are only a few bands you can be on. Okay, you can be on 80 here, down the lower bands here on 80, so it's digital. But FT8 is there. That's good. FT8 is really popular. I mean, super popular. Technicians as well are allowed to be here from 7.025 up to 7.075. Okay. Now, FT8, what is FT8? It's 7476. They're close. I don't do FT8 a whole lot. Haven't for a while. So let me just take a look. FT8 frequency 40 meters. All right. Let me just take a quick look. It's either like 74. So yeah, 7074. So you can work FT8 here on 40. That's a good thing, right? So, yeah, you can work that. So that's a good thing. That's at least digital. You can make a lot of calls on that, ton of them. Nothing open here on 20 for technicians. 15, you've got digital available to you from 21.025. So you do get FT8 on 15. If you want to make calls on a laptop, a lot of guys do it worldwide, and it's super popular. That's for sure. Here's the only voice portion that's available to a technician in the States, 28.3 to 28.5. But at least FT8 is open to you. And like I say, I mean, it's not necessarily my cup of tea to do that, because I like to use a microphone. That's just my style. Everybody has their own love. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you're like something else, Morse code or radio teletype or FT8, cool. Hey, have fun. Have fun. Just get your awards. Try and get continents as fast as you can. Just enjoy it. But there are some good frequencies for you to run FT8. And man, I would say right now in ham radio, JC, it's quite possible that you could do a lot. Really could. You really could. Joe says that is CW only for techs. I don't think so. No, because they're open actually on that frequency. You can do FT8. You can do digital up to 75. So up to like 7.075 megs on 40, which gives you the FT8 frequency. You can't do 20 meters, but you got 40 and you got 15. So there's some FT8. And man, that is like the biggest deal for right now for like, younger people for sure. I'm not seeing anything here that says it's just CW. I'll move you back to it. Hold on. Let's take a quick look. And if I have that wrong, then I'm very sorry. I don't mean to mislead anybody at all. I would never do that. Oh no, you're right. My mistake, guys. That's my fault. It is CW only. Here's the key. CW only. Well, that's a crying dang shame. That is the stupidest thing in the world. Again. My fault. I'll take that one. I'll own that. Yeah, that is, that's just wrong. It's so bad. We're so screwed up. Joe, thanks for the heads up. I appreciate you. I really do. Let's just give him handcuffs and say, here's your license. Congratulations. Glad you're here. We'll work on getting you licensed up. We really will. Let me try and help you, because ham radio is worth holding on to. It is. And it's worth you licensing up because, brother, I'm telling you, man, this is the coolest stinking thing to do when you're bored stiff and you just would like to just play for an hour and see how many countries you can contact. It's phenomenal. It really is. It has never disappointed me. Never. All right. Let's get to the Angry Hams on a Friday Big Show. Here we go.
I now realize television has one major advantage over a live stage show.
Oh? What's that?
A television you can turn off.
Perfect. Okay. Question 1 today, and we're giving you nothing but the fun stuff today, by the way. According to the Solar Observatory in Zurich, Switzerland, the solar cycle that begun in what year is now called the first cycle? This is as far as being recorded is concerned, obviously. The sun has had cycles since it became a star. But this is as far as we know, okay? A 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
That's my boy!
Oh, gosh. B is 1755, C is 1834, and D, 1904. A, B, C, or D. What was solar cycle number 1's first year? Good luck, guys. Yeah, Joe, I already said that. Yeah, I was wrong. No, it is Morse code only. Yep. And I also gave you credit as well, saying you were right. Being right's okay. Hi, Andy. Good to see you. That's Andy Cowley, Ham Radio. Good YouTube channel. Go visit there. He's good. He's good. And again, Joe, thank you. Call sign Kilo India 5, Whiskey Whiskey Tango. Yeah, I hope you guys don't give up on ham radio. Just don't. It's worth it. It is so worth it. Andy first in. He has C, 1834. No. Chris 7. He's got D, 1904. Nope. Barry Wyndon, Golf 6, Juliet Mike X-Ray. He's got C, 1834. Nope. The trivia guru has arrived. Andy New in Bristol. Mike 7, Charlie November. His B, 1755. Of course it is. Andy, 1 for 1. Yeah. Yeah, solar cycle number 1, according to, Zurich, Switzerland, 1755. It's as far back as they've been able to go to determine what the solar cycle looked like back then. So, people got that right, too. It was Andy New and Bill Myers. Well done, you guys. Question 2. What thing found in nature was the object of research by the Army Signal Corps for use as a viable radio antenna? Was it A, lakes, B, trees, C, rocks, or D, copper mines? A, B, C, or D? Question 2. Good luck. What thing found in nature, we haven't done this one ever, was the object of research by the Army Signal Corps for use as a viable radio antenna? Keep in mind what it's saying here is it was found in nature was the object of research. Doesn't mean it worked necessarily, but they sure tried to.
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
You never know about that. Stian Borsk, he is the first one from Norway. Look at this. Lima Alpha 5, Lima Tango Alpha. He has trees. Andy Cowley with B as well. So does Chris. And Stian goes doubling down on B there. Well done. Bill has it. Barry has it. And are you correct? You sure as heck are. Well done, guys. Yeah. Stian, first one. First one in there. And he's got that correct. JC, well done. Well done. Andy New as well. Good job, you guys. Last question today. What was the Viking 122? The Viking 122. Was this A, a novice transmitter, B, a VFO, which means variable frequency oscillator? Was it C, a mobile transmitter kit, or was it D, a single sideband converter? The Viking 122, here's a picture of it, just in case you wondered. A, B, C, or D? Last question on Friday. Good luck. This has not necessarily been a trio of quick, easy questions for you, for sure.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
So what's going to happen now? Because there's no answers yet. You guys are all checking. Your AI is what's going on. Everybody's doing that, but there's no answers yet. We're still with Andy and Andy here with D and D. So yeah, we're gonna have to move. Barry first in. There we go. Golf 6, Juliet Mike X-Ray. He has D. And hold on, was Andy first? I thought it was Andy and Andy were both the bottom there. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. He has D, a single sideband converter. Nope, that's not one of them there. Stian in Norway, A, a novice transmitter. Kind of looked like it a little bit, but no. Bill Myers in Wisconsin, he has B for the guess, which Chris Evan also is saying B for the guess, and they guessed correctly. Well, look at that. Yep, it was a variable frequency oscillator. Remember, there was a time in amateur radio when you had a transmitter that worked off of a single crystal. The crystal was the frequency that the transmitter would work under. It would work a majority, like a bunch of frequencies, but the point was, in order to tune it, you had to have a crystal in it. And because back then, the novice license and so forth, those guys, they had to have a controlled crystal in their transmitter to operate it. You couldn't tune a VFO. So Johnson and other companies back then would make a variable frequency oscillator with which you could tune the frequency on a transmitter. Who knew that would be that important? Tune your radio. So congratulations on both Bill and Chris, who got this one correct in 2 separate continents too, which is pretty darn good. Nice job, guys. That was a hard question. In fact, all 3 of those were not easy. Not at all. All right. Final question today. If you had no outdoor space for an antenna, what kind of an antenna would you use? I've kind of already said mag loop, because it's the only thing left. I mean, if you can put a wire up in your attic, that's a better solution than a mag loop, if you can do that, right? And Steve Hitchcock's in UK. He's done it. He's nearly got a DXCC with it. So that works. That works by far better than a mag loop will, because a mag loop, again, only gives you maybe 7 or 8 kilohertz of open bandwidth to really see what's out there, let alone hear it. So, well, you can hear more, but the signals get a lot weaker. The high Q of a mag loop antenna makes it difficult for you to be able to just spin through the dial and hear all the signals. Yeah, so just understand that's how it works. Andy, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Happy weekend. Good to see you, Andy. God bless you, bud. Always good to see my dear friend Andy. Mike 7, Charlie, U, November. Mag loop would be the choice only because nothing else is available. You're nothing else left. I mean, you could put an antenna on the wall. That might make some calls. You could try it for sure. Keep in mind QRP levels, or make sure you at least do your RF exposure calculations before you use any antenna inside your home. That is so important, guys. RF calculators are available on the American Radio Relay League website, as well as the RSGB, the RAC in Canada, the WIA in Australia, the DARC in Germany, the JARL in Japan. They're there for a reason, because they're that important. Know how much the maximum power you can transmit on an indoor antenna before you one time hit a key down on a microphone or on a paddle or on your FT8 or whatever. Know what's safe to run, and then go have fun. That's it. And JC, we really hope that you don't give up, because it's worth doing this hobby. It's been an honor to have you here. It really has. JC says, see, I thought the Army did do a project transmitting through the ground in low frequencies. You're actually very close. That's, reasonably, that's actually a very good answer. It was the U.S. Navy that did that. He's right. It's the military that did it. They did it so that they could contact submarines at cruising depth. The idea was very low frequency, and they used the ground to do it. Nice memories. See, you're a smart guy. You'll do fine. No worries at all about you. We can help you license up, and you deserve that. Gosh, you deserve that. Guys, thanks for the kind words. Appreciate it. There's more to come that I hope you like. Chris, 7, today's topic question, had an idea to tie a long wire to a balloon. That will work. It will. Yeah. Long wire to a balloon, hang it out the window. It's got to be strong enough of a balloon to hold the feeder up, though, too, right? That might be A little bit of a challenge, but I like the idea, which is very good. Stian with good words for JC says, JC, don't give up. Every experienced ham. This is a great comment, guys. This is it. This is the essence of what we've talked about. Don't give up. Now, Stian's in Norway. Every experienced ham started with a basic license. Keep getting on the air. Make QSOs, ask questions, and enjoy the journey. 73. Nice, Stian, thank you. I think what JC's problem is that where he lives, the frequencies he's legally allowed to use are pretty much dead. There's no one there. So he's like tired. He's like, there's nothing working here. There's no one on these frequencies. I'm done. I don't want to do this. And so we're trying to help him to understand that the technician license in this country is screwy. It's just dumb. If you want to really use a microphone or FT8, you have to license up. And it should be reworked. It should be. I mean, the UK did theirs. I mean, granted, it took the UK, what was that? I don't know how many years. 1945 was the last readjustment of your privileges, and then you guys just did it like a year or two ago, and now they're brilliant, and that's good. We need to do the same thing here. We should do better. We should for our technician licensees. Enjoy what we're coming up with, guys. We've got a couple of classic commercials, and we have the end of another AM station here in the States, in Peoria, Illinois, back at the end of March. It breaks my heart to hear all these AMs going out, but they're going down because people aren't listening anymore because they're streaming on their phone or their cars don't have AM radio anymore in them. It's a crying shame, but I'll show you a little twist to this one. Guys, if you'd like to get licensed in ham radio, contact the Radio Society of Great Britain. They're great, and they will help you get your ham license. www.rsgb.org. Just reach out and tell them you want your ham license and let them know where you live. That's so important because they're going to get you a ham club close to you in an email back. Then contact the club. They'll be thrilled to hear from you, and they'll help you get your license. www.rsgb.org, and tell them Ham Radio Live sent you. And please ask the Ham Club. If you're in the States, your Ham Clubs give you your license, so try and work with them to help you get licensed, okay? We're going to come back. First, a couple of commercials that might make you smile just a little bit, and then we'll come by with a little story before the close down. My name is Larry Dio. My call sign in ham radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. This is the best hobby in the entire world, and it shouldn't be screwed up because of a bad license structure, wherever you may be. God bless you. Goodbye, everybody.
K-Tel International presents a solid state-of-the-art sound system starring the Tubes, Stray Cats, Styx, and Rick Springfield. Frank Stallone, Ron Adams, plus Quarter Flash. The Fix. Powerful Police. This is the ultimate sound system. Just one of 7 super hit collections from K-Tel.
Hi. Aw, thank you. Have a seat. Kyle, Jalen. Jalen, Kyle.
Jalen, you play nice.
I'll be right back.
What's going on, little man? I see you got your game skills down, Pack. You might have your hands full once I'll pick up the controller, though, man.
Put it back. Keep your hands on my mama. Keep your hands on my Doritos.
Jalen, are you playing nice?
There you go. Okay, guys, I got to say something real quick because this is really cool. Trevor Chilcote, this is a young man that listens to Over the Horizon Radio on WRMI. Trevor, it is an honor to have you. Thank you for coming today. What a treat. Man, I am I am richly honored. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate that. Try and listen on 93.95 Saturday. That'll be they should have that show correct there by then. Or if you're in the eastern part of the country, east of the Rockies, you can hear it on the European feed at, what is that? Oh, goodness sakes. I've lost the frequency now. Just check WRMI for the Europe. It's at 12 UTC, so right at high noon in Great Britain. Okay, we're going to feature a close down of another AM station here in the States. They closed down, and after they did, people picked apart all the parts the station had in their transmitter site, which is a shame. It was WIRL out of Peoria, Illinois, currently silent, and they sold off their Harris 5-kilowatt transmitter. Here is some of the pictures the gentleman took as he was there to get the transmitter that finally went silent there. Shame, what a shame. But here's a final look there of the station before, and that's the transmitter he got. And here is just a little more. That's an older, much older transmitter. That would be from like the 40s right there. So center bus bar there for the towers, and they had 4 towers out there, and they've got, if there's a light that's out, it'll blink there. Also, it'll tell you if they're in phase or not as well. So already taking stuff out of the racks, as you can see, as they show some old FCC and paperwork that's legally got to be in the transmitter. And there they are, the 4 sticks that kept the station alive for over 70 years in Peoria, Illinois. Here it is, the final sign-off / close down of 1290 WIRL in Peoria. My favorite part, the person who does the final announcement says that nobody was put out of a job. See you Monday, wherever you may be. God bless you. Goodbye, everybody.
Listening to AM 1290 WIRL, and we're glad you're here. AM 1290 will be permanently signing off on March 31st at noon. But the conservative talk programming you count on, it continues on Freedom 95.9 FM and freedom959.net. Thank you for being with us.
This is 1290 AM WIRL, Peoria, Illinois. My name is Mike Wild, and I'm honored to run WIRL and the 7 other Midwest Communications radio brands here in the Peoria area. For the last few weeks, you've heard us tell you that WIRL will be signing off the air for good on March 31st. Well, that day is here, and that time is now. So after 78 years of serving Central Illinois, we're bidding you a final farewell. To you, our listeners, and to our advertisers, partners, and friends, thank you. You've welcomed us into your homes, your cars, your lives, and it's been our privilege to be a part of this community. To our incredible staff and all of the voices behind the scenes, heroes, and everyone else who have helped create radio magic for the better part of a century, we are forever grateful. And it's worth noting that not a single job is being eliminated as a result of WIRL signing off. Our people and the rest of our Midwest Communications group of radio stations will continue to serve you well into the future. The conservative talk programming you've heard on WIRL the last several years will continue. You can find it at Freedom 95.9 FM and at freedom959.net. But it's time for WIRL itself to say goodbye. So from all of us at WIRL, we are grateful for every moment we've shared. For the final time, this is WIRL, Peoria, Illinois, signing off.
Now, just a thought. They're a conservative talk radio station going off for the final time. They're not coming back ever. Shouldn't they have ended with the national anthem? Just a thought. Bye, everybody.
That's all, folks.